So whenever a question of the face comes, any question regarding the face, try to make this diagram. Half of the face, because face is bilateral, symmetrical. What is on the right side, same is on the left side. So if you are making the front of the face, why to waste the time? So this is the number one. Always make this diagram side view of the face. Practice it 100 times. Then it will be symmetrical. So here comes the orbit. This is the zygomatic bone, bone of the cheek. This is the zygomatic arc. External acoustic meatus with tympanic plates, concentric. Below the styloid process. This is the mastoid process. This is the skull. So this is the face seen from the side view. So first we remove the skin of the face. Below the skin what we find? Fat, yellow color. But in some regions this fat is more. In the superficial fascia, it is very much large near the angle of the mouth. But fat is present everywhere. But it is maximum near the angle of the mouth and more in the children. First it was told that this is made for the suckling of the breast milk. This pad of the fat is called buccal pad of the fat, near the angle of the mouth. Buccal pad of the fat. Buccal means mouth. Buccal pad of the fat. So everywhere there is these structures are present. Then there is no deep fascia on the face. So when there is no deep fascia, then directly what we see, the fourth layer, the muscles of the face, because there is no intervening deep fascia. So when we remove the skin, we find the second layer and fourth layer together because of the absence of deep fascia. Beside, we see the third thing, the cutaneous or the sensory nerves. Sensory means, what is the formula for sensory? S for any sensory nerve means it starts from, S for S means it starts from skin. Cutaneous means cutis, cutis means skin. So these nerves, they are starting from the skin of the face. So while you are doing the head and neck, in other words, we are exploring the 12 pairs of the cranial nerves which you have read in the brain. So while you are doing the dissection of the face, all 12 pairs you will study with detail, whether they are sensory, whether they are motor or mixed. So all 12 cranial nerves, they are not sensory. They are not starting from the skin. All the cranial nerves, they are not motor. Motor means, M for M means they end into some muscles, and some are sensory, some are motor, and some are mixed. So while you are doing the nerves, you must keep in mind that whether they are sensory, motor or mixed also. So some cranial nerves, they are having both the components, sensory as well as the motor, because 12 cranial nerves are important, and in the exam any one of will come in every year. So you have to prepare all the 12 pairs of the cranial nerves. So that's why you have to very keen about the all cranial nerves. So now we are doing the face. First we have done the scalp. And in the scalp, which nerves you have seen in the scalp? Nerve supply of the scalp. Anteriorly supra, medially supratrochlear nerve, and lateral was supraorbital. And laterally which nerve? Auriculotemporal. Posteriorly greater occipital nerve, and small is lesser occipital nerve. So this is the nerve supply of the scalp. Auriculotemporal is lateral, great occipital and lesser occipital supply the posterior part of the scalp. The front part of the scalp is supplied by supratrochlear and supra. So these are the branches coming from cranial nerve. For example, supratrochlear and supraorbital, they are the nerves coming from, they are the branches of ophthalmic division of trigeminal. Auriculotemporal nerve is the branch of mandibular division of the trigeminal nerve. And greater occipital nerve, it comes from spinal cord. What is the root value of the greater occipital nerve? C1 and C2. And what is the root value of the lesser occipital? C3. So you should know the root values also. They are very, very important. Who will write the root value? They will give the bonus marks. So root value, they are with the spinal nerves. As brain is attached with the 12 pairs of the cranial nerves, so spinal cord is attached with the how many pairs? 31 pairs of the spinal nerves. 31 pairs. And all of the spinal nerves, they are mixed. They are both sensory as well as motor. Out of the 31 cervical, they are how many spinal nerves? Spinal. They arise from the spinal cord. How many cervical nerves are there? C1 to C8. Remember, the vertebra, they are only 7, but the spinal nerves of the cervical region is 8. Then thoracic. How many nerves are there? T1 to T12. There are 12 ribs. And every rib has got the one thoracic intercostal nerve. So they are 12 in number. Then lumbar, the back side of the abdomen, they are 5. L1 to L5. Then our sacrum. So sacral spinal nerve, they are also 5. S1 to S5. And last bone is the coccyx. Coccyx has got 1 or 2 nerves. So the total 8, 12, 5, 5 and 1. Total is 31. So you have to remember as the names of all 12 cranial nerves, which is 7, which is 5, which is 8, which is 9. This should be on your fingertips. All cranial nerves, the number. Same is the spinal. There are total 31 pairs of spinal nerves, and they supply the muscle from head to toe, and neck is also supplied by this. So the trigeminal nerve supplies the scalp along with the C1, C2 and C3 component of the ventral rami of spinal nerve also supplies, because head and neck, they are the mixture of where the cranial nerve ends and the spinal nerve they start, because they are made for brain and spinal cord. They are lying in which part? Central part of the human body. So they form the CNS or central nervous system. And all spinal nerves, they are made for skeletal muscles of the body. But cranial nerves, they also supply, some cranial nerves, they also supply smooth muscles. So that you have to remember while going into the detail of the head and neck dissection. So after removing the face, the skin of the face, we find second and fourth layer together. And in the fat, the yellow color fat, what we find? First the sensory or the cutaneous nerves. Sensory or the cutaneous nerves we find. So in order to understand the cutaneous or sensory nerves, so that is the nerve supply of the skin. Cutaneous nerves, they are supplied by the fifth nerve. Fifth nerve is the, what is the name of the fifth cranial nerve? Trigeminal. This is the thickest cranial nerve out of 12. Thickest. Why? Because tri means it has 3 divisions. Number 1, number 2, number 3. What is number 1 division? Ophthalmic. Number 2, maxillary. And third is mandibular. So 3 divisions. So whenever a question comes, draw and label the sensory nerve supply of the. This is a very important diagram. Sensory nerve supply of face. How the skin of the face is supplied. So our skin is sensitive. So all the 3 branches of the face of the trigeminal nerve supply the skin of the face. First is the ophthalmic division. Name is ophthalmic. Ophthalmic means related to ophthalmic means ophthalmology department means eye department. So ophthalmic branch will supply the skin near the eye. So that is the meaning. Maxillary branch will supply the skin over the maxilla. This. And mandibular nerve will supply the branch will supply the skin over the mandible. That is clear. So that's why we name these things. So around the eye, see which cutaneous or sensory S for S. Skin is coming. So again the same which supply the scalp. Medially supratrochlear. This is the ophthalmic division branches. Supratrochlear and laterally supraorbital. So 2 nerves are ophthalmic. Number 1, supratrochlear is medial always. Medial, and supraorbital is a lateral. So supraorbital arises from this supraorbital notch. And medial to this supratrochlear. So it supplies the scalp plus the face. So both are the branches of ophthalmic division. Then skin of the bridge of the nose. This is also near the eye. So skin over the nose is also supplied by branch from ophthalmic division, and name of this branch supply the nose is called external nasal branch. External nasal nerve. External nasal. Then the lower eyelid, it is also supplied by the inferior palpebral nerve. It supplies the lower eyelid. So around the eye, so these are the nerves. Then comes the, so this much area of the skin of the face under the ophthalmic division take the charge that I will supply the skin around the eye, above and below and medial. So these are the branches supplying the ophthalmic division. Next comes the maxillary division. So skin over the maxilla is supplied by branches from maxillary division of the trigeminal. So here are the 2 foramens on the zygomatic bone. Small foramen. One is called zygomatico-temporal foramen and one is called zygomatico-facial foramen on the bone of the cheek or the zygomatic bone. So from here a nerve starts, that is called zygomatico-temporal, and from here zygomatico-facial. So this area from here is supplied the zygomatico-temporal, it supplies this area. And one is supplied the zygomatico-facial nerve it supplies this branch. So branch of the maxilla nerve is the zygomatico-temporal branch and zygomatico-facial branch. Then there is the infraorbital foramen. This is the coming from maxilla bone. And infraorbital foramen give a very thick, this is the termination of the maxillary division. And it immediately divides into so many branches. So it lies just below the inferior border of the bony orbit, about 1 centimeter. So medially, if you go from here deep, you can feel this foramen. It's very big. It's very big. Put your finger just below the medial border of this medial end of the inferior border. Go 1 centimeter below and press it. You feel a depression. This is the infraorbital foramen. If you gently press it, you feel there is a numbness of the skin here. Yes. It means it is sensory supply. It's quite thick nerve. If you do the dissection, chadu vargi hundi hai. Thick, and so many branches arising from it. Supply is like this, spread and supply whole of the skin of this. So this name of this branch is infraorbital nerve. Infraorbital branch. Infra means below. So this foramen is infraorbital. So nerve which is coming, the last part of maxillary nerve ends here by supplying the skin. Zygomatico-temporal and facial, they are also the branches of the maxillary nerve. So this is how the nerve supplies it. So infraorbital nerve supplies a larger area of the skin over the lips. Skin over the cheek. So this whole area, the ala of the nose skin, is under the infraorbital branches. So large area of this around the mouth is supplied by the maxillary division with all its 3 branches. Now area, so this much area we can demarcate that this much area is the territory of what is called maxillary division. This patch of the skin is under the maxillary division. So that you have to remember how these are parts which are supplied from them. Now leaf area is the shave area or the skin over the mandible where you put the razor blade for shaving. So this area of the skin is under the mandibular division. And which branches come to supply here? The mandibular division. First is the auriculo-temporal. Auricle means ear. It supplies the skin of the ear, lateral surface. Then temporal. Then it supplies the skin over the temporal region, this area. So nerve is called division of maxillary. Mandibular is called this auriculo-temporal nerve. And the second branch coming from anterior border of maxilla of the mandible. From here it comes. And it supplies the branch is called buccal branch. Second branch of the mandibular division is buccal branch. So buccal means mouth. So this branch supplies the skin over the angle of the mouth or skin covering the buccinator muscle. So this branch is called buccal branch. Then comes the lower branch, skin. Here comes the skin of the chin. So this much area of the skin of the face is under the mandibular branch. So third branch is the mental nerve. So mental nerve comes from the mental foramen of the mandible. So these are the 3 branches are the name the branches. You should remember all the 3 branches of ophthalmic, 3 of maxillary and 3 of mandibular. Whole of the skin is supplied. So they are sensory innervation or sensory supply of the skin of the face. So this diagram you have to remember whenever a question comes. draw and label the sensory nerve supply of face. You are not to number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then the examiner will search. No, you have to label like this. Zygomatico, this supratrochlear, supraorbital. You have to write down. So when you write like this in the exam, you get 0 marks. Examiner is not having that. First he will see what is the number, then he will see there. You are wasting the time of the examiner. He will be irritated. Secondly, don't make the tables of the muscles anything. Nerve supply, action, no. Expand, you have to fill pages. Keep it in mind, I have already told you. 4 number question means you have to fill 4 pages. If you put the tables like the book, it will be finished in 1 page. Who will give the marks? So use your common sense. How to expand your answer writing. More is the pages, more you will marks. Make full diagram in full page. Don't make small diagram as you have made in your book. Try to make big diagram like me. Full page diagram, large diagram, more clear. And bring colored pencils right in the lecture theatre. Nerves, they are yellow color. Who will make the red color? Nerve, 0 marks. So anatomy is a very specific subject. So don't mix it with another thing. You can't change the artery red to yellow. Veins are always blue. You don't make it. So if you do not have got the colored pencils in the exam, make it with the black pencil. But never make red color nerves or red color veins. It will give you 0 marks. So after this innervation, now come the muscles of the face. So muscles of the face, they are very special muscles. Muscles of the face, they are special muscles. Why they are called special? Why they are called special muscles? Number 1, their origin is from the bone, but their insertion is not on the bone. Usually the muscles, they take origin from the bone, they are inserted on the bone. But this is the specialty of the facial muscle. Number 1, origin is from the bone, but insertion is on the dermis of the skin. Dermis of the skin. So when they are inserted, so this is the reason why deep fascia is absent on the face. They take origin from the bone, they have to insert on the skin, they have to reach of the skin. If there would have been deep fascia, how they can reach their destination? So this is the reason when anybody asks you why deep fascia is absent on the face. Because of the facial muscles. They have to insert on the dermis of the skin. And secondly, the muscles of the face, they are muscles of expression. They are the muscles of the expression. So whenever the muscles they contract, they bring about lines over the face. That's why the muscles of the face, they are called expression muscles. Number 3rd specialty, all facial muscles, they are subcutaneous. Sub means below. Cutaneous means cutis. Cutis means skin. All the other muscles you have seen, where they are present? Below the deep fascia. But they are present just below the skin. So they are all muscles, they are subcutaneous muscles. So whenever anybody asks you, you should know these 3 things about the specialty of the facial muscles. So now we will take one by one the muscles of the face, starting from above downward. Muscles of the forehead, they are the corrugator. What is the name? Corrugator supercilii. It takes origin from the supraorbital margin. So this is the just above the eyebrows. This is called the supraorbital ridge. Raised area is there. In the male it is more prominent. In the female it is not present. So eyebrows, this is again the sign of the male skull. Supraciliary arches, they are more prominent in the male skull. So from here a muscle takes origin and goes medially. And where it is inserted? On the dermis of the skin of the forehead. And what is the action? It brings about the vertical lines on the forehead. Vertical means this is the expression of anger. So action is anger expression. So origin, insertion, action. Third muscle of the around the eye is the orbicularis oculi. So there is a circular muscles around the eye, take origin from the bone of the eye. And where it is inserted? On the skin around the upper eyelid and lower eyelid. Palpebral part, superior and inferior. So it is a circular muscle, orbicularis oculi. And what is the action of the circular muscle when it contracts? It brings the closure of the eye. So action is closure of the eyeball. The fourth muscle, the muscle of the nose, is called nasalis. Nasalis is the muscle of the nose. Take origin from the nasal bone, inserted on the bridge of the nose is the nasalis bone. Then comes the zygomaticus major muscle, and one is zygomaticus minor muscle. Zygomaticus major muscle, as name is suggesting, it takes origin from zygomatic arc, from zygomatic bone, and it is inserted over angle of the mouth. Zygomaticus major. It is called laughing muscle, because when this muscle will contract, where the angle of the mouth will go? Upward. Anybody asks you, make the laughing face, how you make? Upward. And another muscle taken from the zygomatic bone, inserted on the upper lip, in the middle of it. This is the zygomaticus minor. It is smaller muscle. And what is the action? Smiling. Minor is called smiling muscle. Major is called laughing muscle. So when you smile, there is a slight raising of your upper lip. It is the minor. Then levator anguli oris. Levator anguli oris. It also takes origin from the zygomatic arc. And not zygomatic, but from the maxilla bone it takes origin and inserted over the angle of the mouth. Name is suggestive. Raise the angle. Then the longest name of the human muscle, levator labii superioris alacnesi. This is the longest name of the human muscle. Levator labii superioris alacnesi. So this muscle also taking from the maxilla bone and inserted over the ala of the nose, as the name is alac. Alac means ala, and upper lip. So this muscle is inserted over the upper lip and the nose. So when this muscle will contract, what will happen? Our nostril and the upper lip goes like this. So whenever we are irritated, so this gives the expression of irritation. Or if there's some obnoxious smell is there somewhere, the dead body of somebody is there. So this is the expression. Plus it is also, face is also having the, whenever there is a patient of bronchial asthma, whose obstruction is there, and he is taking, ala of the nose becomes prominent, so that more and more oxygen should go. So whenever the patient, they are lying, they are breathing is a problem, this muscle help in the respiration. So this is the accessory muscle of respiration also, beside the muscle of expression. Then another name of the muscle you have to remember is the levator labii superioris muscle. So again, an additional muscle is there for the upper lip, levator labii. Then the muscle of the lower part is called the orbicularis oris. Again, like the oculi, it is also a circular muscle around the mouth. Circular. Orbicularis oris. Like the oculi, when it contracts, what will happen? Closure of the mouth. Then from the oblique line of the mandible, a muscle take origin, goes to the angle of the mouth. This is called depressor anguli oris. Depressor anguli oris is also called muscle of sadness or sorrow. Somebody says, make the face of the weeping muscle. How you make? Simple. So this is the expression of sorrow or the weeping muscle. So depressor anguli oris is the weeping muscle. Then